Dorie, how would you like to play 3-question Thursday?
3 questions. Yes.
Three
I'm going to take a
questions.
sip. I'm fancy. I have my sparkling water. Hold on.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm going to take a swig of regular water. First question, and I got this from actually your Instagram because you had said the other day, like, even before you unpack from a trip, you're worried about your food. And
Yes. Oh, yeah.
you mentioned Costco. So what
Yeah.
would you get at Costco?
Okay, this is great. This is a great question. So this is a true story. My luggage on my recent trip stood. Is that even the way to say it? But it was on the floor for a whole week. I didn't even touch it because I knew that having the food, the groceries, everything chop, ready to go was key. So my favorite things from Costco. So on the outer aisles, which is going to be the pantry items, I do love to get the cauliflower rice pouches and the brown rice pouches. Those are my plan B meals when life is lifey. Okay. That's my grain, my breakfast grain and my portable or fast veggie cauliflower rice on the outer aisles. Also on the outer aisles, I love the Kinder's buttery steakhouse seasoning. These are my favorite seasonings. You got to write this down, guys. This is like the best. Kinder brand, buttery steakhouse seasoning, hardwood smoked garlic, amazing, and the salt and pepper blend. These 3 seasonings, fabulous. They're good all-purpose seasonings, and they go on everything. And on the when it comes to the frozen section, I love getting the 5-pound bag of the Normandy frozen vegetables, or the melange. It's called melange.
Oh, yeah.
And, yep. They're also 5-pound vegetables that are already seasoned and ready to go. I love those 2 vegetable, that's what I keep in the freezer, emergency, the backup vegetable when I'm like, you know what? I don't have time, this week to be all about chopping a million heads of lettuce and things like that. So yeah, I love those. And on the fresh veggie side, mammoth blueberries that are huge. Like I love them to be huge. I don't like tiny blueberries. Like I literally will be all about those blueberries. Like I'm like, hi guys, step aside. I need to pick my blueberry container right now.
These are fresh or frozen?
Fresh.
All right.
They're big.
Anything else, or does that wrap it up?
Those are my favorites.
Okay, that's great. I did see a question in the chat, so I'm going to ask you about your maintenance because you did hit maintenance, even surprised yourself with that number. Yeah. So I know you're a dancer and an instructor, but can you give us an idea what you did for your maintenance ads?
Sure. So I have an interesting situation because I have maintenance editions and I have athletic editions. And so kind of knowing when to use them and, all of that. And so my athletic editions were according to how the BLE coaches guided me during the boot camp. And I still stick with that pattern. My maintenance editions, what I do is I leverage the power of the type of food that it is, because with maintenance, we're so used to eating weight loss that we're kind of built for weight loss portions. Like we like that. And so once we start adding the maintenance, most of the time we'll do it like little by little, because it's a lot of food to add in. Like you're going to go from weight loss portions to all the maintenance additions all at one time. So what I do, for example, remember I said I didn't like oats?
Yeah.
I do like oats now, but for example, I actually yesterday posted what a maintenance addition looked like in my breakfast. So for example, for breakfast yesterday, I had an omelet, 4 ounces of egg white plus 1 egg. I added in there my rice, 4 ounces, boom, that's weight loss. Get my 6 ounces of fruit as weight loss. And for the maintenance addition, I did 4 ounces of Greek yogurt that I make homemade. So I know it's got 1 ingredient, milk, right? So it's 4 ounces of Greek yogurt. And I did half an ounce of toasted oats that I toasted in my air fryer with some seasoning. And then I did 1 ounce of, or the rest of the protein came from nuts. I just sprinkled it on there. So it was like a little tiny yogurt parfait on the side. It was topped with nuts and oats. And that was the maintenance edition. But it was literally like, there it is, you know? But when I first started maintenance, I was like, oh, I'm going to have all these eggs. And I was like, look at me trying to overeat. And I know that my belly can't do that anymore.
No, you'll feel sick, I think.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to have 4 eggs today and like make this omelet. And I'm going to have 6 ounces of rice because I can eat some rice. And I couldn't, it was just too much. So I just choose lighter proteins, softer yogurt. It's very soothing, nice. It's not going to be such a, yeah. So I do things.
This is kind of an add-on to number 2, okay? Because you mentioned the athletic portions.
Sure.
And somebody was asking, what were those? Was it based on like, okay, it's going to be a 13-hour day or whatever, and I'm going to be running all day, or what? How did it work out?
Yes. So this is a great question. So when I teach a normal class, I work at gyms. I used to own my own dance studios, and I used to teach 21 classes a week way back when. Now I don't do that, but I still do long bouts of fitness. But when I do, for example, yesterday I taught my class, it's an hour, it's cardio. I'm into athletic mode. So I will follow the PDF that Bright Line Eating has available, where on the plan, they actually have on the maintenance plan, a little section towards the bottom bullet point that has like a certain amount of nuts that you can have as an athletic addition. So when I teach a 60-minute cardio class, like I'm conditioned for that. My body is used to that. So I'll have that, the nuts. And easy breezy, it's wonderful. I don't have it at the end of the day. I might just add it somewhere. I might add it right after that session. When I do my workshops and I'm going for 3 and 4 hours straight, then I actually do specific athletic additions that were the Bright Line Eating coaches, when I did a coaching call, researched for me after I said, this is what I do. This is what I do. I go 3 and 4 hours straight, and I do that for 3 days in a row. So that's 12 hours of cardio in 3 days. And they were like, we gotcha. Hold on a second. So they did some coaching around that. And so during those times, I have an extra grain at night before I go to sleep. Okay. And like with my dinner, I take in an extra grain after my workshop. I also do a little bit of a half a grain, a little extra fruit, a little extra protein. We never do anything separate. We put it all together like in another meal. And I do that. And so what happens is when I sleep, my muscles are getting everything that they need replenished following all the activity that I did. Yeah. And next day I'm ready. But my mind needed to get used to that, because my mind, I was like, oh, what if I wake up and I'm heavier? What if I wake up and I'm a little like my mind still needed to do its work to be okay with that. Yeah. And once I got over that little obstacle of the mind, I was like, oh, I'm good with this. Yeah. I'm good with it. I'll just
almost
have
like, okay, that's just medicine almost.
Yeah.
Like medicinal purposes for my,
it's for my muscles, it's for my muscles. And as long as I eat it with my meal. Now, if I eat it separately, that's no good. I need to eat all the food groups together.
And I have to say that I had COVID in December, and in January, I was just struggling because I hadn't been eating enough. I felt so carb depleted. I felt that I needed it for my brain. And so I'm like, I'm putting myself on maintenance with 1 extra grain a day for 2 weeks. I'm going to do it for 2 weeks, put myself on maintenance. It did the trick. It wasn't even a full 2 weeks. And I felt like, you know what? I'm feeling better. I'm done. My body's healed. I'm ready to go. But it was just like, there's no race. It's not like before we're starting and stopping all these diets.
Right. We don't do that anymore.
No, we don't do that anymore. And that leads to my third question for you. How does it feel to be normal? Because since you say that as a child and actually a teenager, I just wanted to be normal.
Yes. So, wow. girl, you're bringing this to my heart. So yes, I have a strong inner controller and inner task manager. And at the beginning of my program, I was a crystal vaser, which is like, we guard it with our lives. We just do everything the way it's, I'm not going to shatter that crystal vase, right? I'm just going to keep it.
Right.
And, I in my inner work, my inner parts work and all of that, I was like, thinking like how I was raised and how I didn't feel normal. And all those diets that I did starting at the age of 13 and the quest to look a certain way, feel a certain way, belong to that group of people, all this kind of stuff started coming back to me, and as I started working with my inner child and the wounded child and, that time that person like literally shoved dirt in my mouth because I was chunky and they put dirt in my mouth to make me eat it. And it's like, those things started to flash back and I was like, oh, I need to do work here, So I realized really, I just want to be normal. I just want to be normal without this underlying condition of addiction. Like that just kept going, here. And so a few times when I've been out at restaurants and, let's say my husband goes to the restroom and I look around at the table and I find myself saying, I wonder here, like I see people eating and the different ways in which they eat, the mannerisms, the gestures. I see who's focused not on food. And I think you're weird. Like you're not focused on food. You know what I mean? I see who's focused on food. I see who wants to be focused on food, but feels ashamed like I did. Right. So I see that. And I started thinking like, really, I just kind of always, I guess, wanted to feel normal. I want to feel like I can walk through every day normally without this constantly being the thing. And so I know that I'm always in the ring with addiction. I know that addiction is a thief and wants to come and steal everything I have, right? Including my peace is very important to me. And so when I navigate my days, I really still place that focus on, this is my bright identity. This is my normal. This is my normal. Come what may, this is my normal. I am someone who does not eat sugar, does not eat flour. That's refined sugar or flours, right? We eat fruit and things like this. I eat 3 meals a day. I like it. It works. I measure my food still to this day. I like doing that. It brings me peace. Have I eaten meals without measuring it? Absolutely. Have I survived that? Absolutely. Have I been at a restaurant and had a BLT, a bite, lick, or a taste of something? Of course, I'm human. But guess what? I'm normal because I didn't go all in to eat, or I didn't go home and eat in secret afterwards. So I said to myself, I guess this is what normal is, right? I can go
just carry on
my thing and I can carry on like it's, let's get back, like, let's just do what we do.
And I think you also have the awareness when I don't want to do the hash browns. I don't want to do these kinds of foods, and having that awareness. And I think that might be normal too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's really wild. So I'm exploring that feeling now and that idea, like what is normal for me, because in my mind, I've always said, I just, I want to be just normal. Why do you don't struggle with this, but I do, like, why, and now I'm just like, wow, this is normal. Like even on maintenance, when the scale goes up a couple of pounds, I'm like, it's normal. This is what happens. My body went up 2 pounds. I'm still bright. It's just the dance.
Your clothes still fit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And so it's really nice to explore that now and to say, wow, this is pretty cool. I guess this is what happens, in the normal world per se, you know what I mean? But it feels very freeing. I really love it. But, when I do sit at a restaurant and when I'm, even last night we had Bible study and this topic, comes up. I have a heart for service. And, in my line of work, being a dancer, a trainer, a fitness instructor, I'm a choreographer for a leading company. There is an intense focus on spotlight because we are in the spotlight, and we present content, and we dance, and we educate, and we do all these things. My heart hungers not for spotlight. My heart hungers for service. And it stirs in my spirit. And, I can't believe after all of this time in my life, wasting so much of my life stuck in this place of addiction and self-harm and binging and all of that, that now I have this new lease on life, this rest of, my life to do, to be, to, connect, to communicate, to learn things, to, experience joy and freedom and peace, and no more poison. Like, I will choose my peace over poison any day. And to this day, if I see poison coming in the way of people, places, and situations and settings, I know now not to even step into that area.
That just gives me a chill, because you are still that boxer in the ring. I can just see it. But Dorie, never forget how much service you are giving. You have just opened yourself up with so much service to the community. Thank you so much. I thank you tonight from all of us for sharing your story. And thank you for playing 3-Question Thursday.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
It's been such
Thank you for having me. And thank you guys for dedicating a portion of your night to being here tonight. And those that are watching later, watch the whole thing. No, I'm kidding. Like, watch the whole thing, even if you have to speed it up. Because
and go to Starting Out Bright to get this pamphlet or whatever we're going to have there. So
yeah, of course. There's, the Bright Light Eating family is fabulous. We speak a similar language, and therefore we got each other's backs. You will find that if you're watching this, if you're here tonight, you'll find a common theme amongst us. We understand each other. Absolutely. Therefore, we have got each other's backs. You will never find a bright lifer out there flinging it and flying it solo, because there's someone there on the other end to meet you halfway to say, I got you. All you got to do is take one step. I got you.
What is that mantra that you said? And I've got it in the slideshow. Therefore, I am. No, I
yes.
am. How does it?
I am the priority. I matter. I matter. Therefore, I am the priority.
And you really have to do that. And that is in getting your sobriety first. That opens you up to all this other, service. When you're sober first in this way. You've so much more.
Absolutely. I feel, and that's total. I'll be very honest in saying, like, I do feel like one needs to do their work before you can be of service. You need to do your work, because as you do this journey, things might surface that are going to require your attention, not only your attention, but your love towards it. One of my sayings when I'm in trouble and here inside something's happening, I will let someone know I'm tender right now. I'm a bit tender, and that helps whoever I know is in my corner, to kind of help me unpack some things. That's where we have mastermind groups, we have Gideon games, we have all these types of things with Bright Line Eating. And because, like, I can go to you, Noreen, I can go to Deb. If I was having a struggle, I can go to any one of you. I can go Judy, I can go Mary Jane, Sharon, and be like, I'm having a tender moment. Like, will you sit with me for a moment, just even on a DM on Instagram or a Marco Polo, because you'll understand what I'm about to unpack with you. And I'll understand what you're about to unpack with me, because we've got similar.
And I've done that with some of the people here. So anyway, I'm going to get going. Thank you so much again. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Stay bright. Good night.